rating Food for Thought.
I think it might be the album of the year, Mike. So I don't know. It's better than Ransom's album, and we gave Ransom's album a 4.5. Uh, Due to everybody constantly berating me about Most Def's mic performance on No Fear of Time, I took Black Star's No Fear of Time from a 5 to a 4.75. This project feels just as good as that, if not better. It might be the album of the year. I think it's better than Ransom's album, Mike, and I probably had Ransom's album in second place right now. This is when
I
I
I still got No Fear of Time ahead of it, but maybe I need to sit with it a little bit more. But
I want to listen because there's a few things that she did. First of all, this is conceptually brilliant and well conceived, much like Rhapsody's Eve, and you know how I feel about Eve by Rhapsody.
mm-hmm.
Conceptually brilliant and well conceived on the same level. I think the mic performance is lyrically better. And I told you that I thought Eve was the best rap album from beginning to end I had ever heard from a counterpart MC of the female variety. I also have told you that about some of the things that Love, the Genius, has said, and also after hearing this album, where hip hop is in a place where it's like, I don't know how much longer we can keep on saying female MC. Damn, she smashing niggas, Mike.
Yeah.
Like when I say female MC now, it makes me feel guilty saying it when I hear her in Love and Armani on that brunch for ladies. Is it what ladies brunch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, like that's just MCing, you know. And so it's like that. She's like that. Lyrically, she might be the best MC out in terms of the females right now. I would tell you, I still prefer Love the Genius's voice and versatility, but Che Noir is the most polished out here outside of Rhapsody.
I like Shay Noir more than Rhapsody. It's my opinion. I'd rather listen to her music over Rhapsody. I hate to pit one against the other because I know that's
Right.
very predictable from a male hip
That's
hop
what I mean. Like,
listener.
we got
But
to unpack the biases as we talk about these things.
but
Yeah,
you
it's
know, but
real.
at the same time, I think that yeah, she is she's clicking on all cylinders and she's killing it on all ends. And I do agree with you. I think this is one of the stronger albums of the whole year. I don't have it over No Fear of Time, but I mean, again, that's no knock at all to be second to that. I would say right now, my album of the years look like No Fear of Time, this album, and Ransom's album.
No, our top three is the same and probably in that order. Immediately when I heard this album, I was like, well, I don't know if it's better than No Fear of Time. But I feel like, don't you feel like the production on here is better than Ransom's album, even though Ransom spent?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
most definitely. No, I
Yeah.
think that's where
That's where it takes over,
that
right?
that yeah that's where it takes it gives it a leg up on Ransom's album. Now the production on No Fear of Time, it's a whole nother story. LP says, Coop, you were comparing 50's lyrical ability in songwriting to Rakim and Nas. Pac don't have that lyrical ability either. You rated 50 on a curve.
Hold
We'll
on. So
have
hold
we'll
on.
handle that a whole nother show,
No, no,
guys.
no. I wanna. No, no, no. We
Acknowledge
got
it though. Go ahead.
right. Okay. So no, Pac's lyrical ability is not like Rakim or Nas's. His song making capability in terms of the heartfelt and touching
Yeah,
nature of it is at another level.
it
50
is.
don't have no so many tears or Dear Mama or Brenda's Got a Baby. Y'all gotta stop that.
Now that's true.
Like 50's not like Tupac as a writer. He's not lyrically inclined like Tupac is, but Pac is somewhere supreme that 50's not as a writer. And this is why Pac is there and 50 isn't, because 50 doesn't write those types of songs that put him in those conversations with those lyrical giants the way Pac does. So you're kind of making my point for me, LP. If he were to write more touching stuff like that, he would be there. His touching stuff is Window Shopper and Hustler's Ambition. That's not going to make it to the top of the line. So Many Tears and Dear Mama and Temptations will, though. I Ain't Mad at You will, though. You feel me? Hearts of Men will. No More Pain will. 50 don't have records like that. 50's not in Pac's realm as a writer. That's why he's not a 10. He's not even a 9, in my opinion,
Ray
as a
Realm
writer.
says not only did she drop another bomb album, not drop another bomb, but Shay Noir's been on a hell of a run. She's clearly been the best in the game for the past couple of years. Yeah, I think that on a mainstream level, right, Rhapsody was kind of doing this, I want to say, in the early 2010s. And then I think when she got on Complexion from To Pimp a Butterfly, the mainstream started taking notice. And, I guess she signed, I want to say she signed the Rock Nation like right before that, right after that, whatever. And then she became the talking point of, the female MC that people need to talk about. But I think that Shay Noir has taken that and ran with it and has taken on this whole consistent output of material that people like Bodie James are doing, people like Westside are doing. So it takes that whole notion and conversation to a whole nother level. Ray Realms also says, with Shay Noir's run, where do Mike D and Coop rank her amongst all-time female MCs? She's my favorite of all time.
So I have some notes because after listening to this album, I kind of figured we were going to get questions like that. And so lyrically, here's where she is to me, because I've listened to this project and I've been going back and listening to the previous project. She's been on a run since, whoever says she's been on a run since Juno, they're absolutely right about that. Mm-hmm. So here's what I would tell you is that lyrically, she might be the best of the lot next to Lauren. That includes Digga, that includes Rhapsody, that includes Love, that includes Latifah, that includes Light. So when she's talking about wanting to be the best, well, there's some lyrical stamp that's been here in terms of what she does that's at the highest level. I think Love is only like a step away from her lyrically. And I'm going to be clear about that too. Love is only a step away lyrically from where she is. And I think the step that Love really needs to take lyrically to be where Che is probably a confidence and consistent delivery thing. Because Love's delivery sometimes is switching it all over the place, because I think she's still figuring out some things pattern-wise about what she wants to do to let it know that it's her. So lyrically, Che is probably the best and most solid that I've heard since Lauren in terms of how consistently she's going to give that bar work to you. I'm going to throw Digga in there as well.
Yeah.
But
you know what? And I'm going to be fair. I mean, Digga's Dirty Harriet album's my favorite hip-hop album from a female MC, as far as like, bar for bar, rapping, whatever.
Isn't this better than
that? This probably is. But, again, I think that, again, it's more nostalgic for me in that way. But right. Digga doesn't have a lot of work, and that's just the truth.
No. I thought about Dirty Harriet when I thought about this, because I thought about you, and I was like, I don't think Mike can say that Dirty Harriet is his favorite album from a female MC. After listening to this, I was like, because she's doing what Digga did on Dirty Harriet, like on 10 on here, and she's doing it like on some solo shit a couple times where it's like super impressive. But here's what I was saying about where she falls. I'm like, well, Rhapsody is already stamped, but she's probably a better MC than Rhapsody at this point. You know how I feel about Rhapsody in Carolina. She's just better. But here's what else that I said, and you spoke to it behind the scenes and kind of took some of my notes, and that's been happening to us more lately. Armani Caesar is a star. She has the most appealing voice, and she has the most swag of all of these women. And you can hear it. Like, she's not lyrically anything that Che and Love are, but man, if they had her voice and her appeal, and I'm not talking her physical appeal, I'm talking about her appeal when you hear her, when you hear the confidence, like, star on the track, bitch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she's not that. Lotto has been putting that work in. I started following Lotto on Instagram. Like, she doing a show every night.
Yeah, like, Lotto's putting in work
towards her dreams for what she loves. What I would tell you is that when I put all these things together, I was like, and this is why Lauryn Hill is still the best female MC of all time, because she had all of those things in spades. But what we have,
she ain't got the catalog though. And that's just
no, I didn't bring up catalog. I was bringing up lyrics.
Are you just talking about like just lyrics, in a vacuum?
Right. Yeah, right. Lyrics, voice, versatility, star power, appeal, and putting in the work. I was thinking like, and that's why Lauryn Hill was rated so high. But what I realized too is that, man, the game for females is in a place that it hasn't been since its inception where it's like, no, 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 we got a lot of women out here that can spit the real and want their respect.
And
And
it's a
if
lot
you
of different
remember that,
lanes too. It's not like to be a female MC that it's only one way you can get in. You know,
right?
um, the
Well, the climate was proactive for them because of women like Light, Moni Love, and Latifah, and I kind of feel that I felt that resurgence of that ideology of like we're here, nigga, like
yeah.
on this album, and I loved it.
The Combs 44 says Shay Noir's buzz needs to get a push, just like Meg's first buzz,
No,
and
we're gonna
then
push it.
that would be a big win for hip hop.
We're gonna push it. No, she's nice like that. Like
Yeah,
she gets on the track with Rome and with Ransom and 30 like Stowe, like she getting on tracks with dudes that's like high level, and there's no drop off from her as an MC. As in, like most guys, when they are hearing the MC, female MC in the crew, they're expecting there to be some sort of lyrical drop off. I know Lil Kim and Foxy had a lot to do with changing that crew dynamic of being like, no, 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 not only am I a spitter in the crew, but the best in the crew. But, you know, and they rhymed with some heavyweights, obviously. Like what Shay and Love and Armani and this crop of females are doing, though, they are like really putting their own stamp on things where it's like, even though they belong to a crew, their identity is so self-identified, independent of the crew. It's like when I'm hearing these ladies rap on the Brunch for Ladies track, it's like I don't know who they belong to. They just sound like they belong, and that's
yeah.
beautiful. You know?
Ray Reynolds of the super chat says Shay Noir's God as God Intended is better. Is a better rap album than Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Did you guys get my text about that album?
I did.
Okay.
I'm listening. But that's what I mean. It's okay. So as a rap album, it is better. But what I will tell you is that, well, is there a final hour on there?
Lost
Lyrically?
Ones.
You feel me?
Yeah, Lost Ones or something like that.
Like,
DeCarlo says,
like,
where y'all got Cash Doll among the ladies?
I'm not big on Cash Doll. I wouldn't have her in my top 5 right now. If we were qualifying. But I just gave you my top 5.
I like Cash Doll a lot.
I mean, but I just gave you Che. I just gave you Love. Just gave you Rhapsody. Just gave you Armani. I just gave you Lotto. I just gave you my 5. That's why I bought them up. I was giving you my 5.
And
you know
shout
what I
out
mean?
to Detroit. I think Cash Doll, in my personal opinion, is beautiful.
No, I mean, like, not saying she not like dope. I'm just giving you my 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you my 5.
No.
That's my 5. And here's what I realized: 3 of my 5, and I thought about this. Well, 3 of my 5 are from the Buffalo, Rochester, Niagara Falls, upstate New York area. There's something going on in the water up there, Mike. Because here's what we have now. Because remember when we had this conversation about the fellas last year? Armani was the only one that we were throwing in there.
What about Lotto?
Huh?
What about Lotto? What do you think as far as?
That was my 5th. I
Okay.
got Che, Love, Rhapsody, Armani, Lotto. That's my 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love what every time I pull up, I love the work that Lotto was putting in as a young woman.
And
is
Ciroc is underrated. Ciroc is underrated.
Yeah, but that upstate New York thing that's going on, Rock Marcy started all this, Mike.
My God.
Rock Marciano is responsible for this. Like, I thought about this. Like, people give Griselda credit. Rock Marciano is responsible for this because you got Rock Marciano, you got Conway, you got Westside, you got Benny, you got Che, you got Love, you got Stove, you got Rome, you got Armani, you got Flea, you got 38. That's all that upstate New York shit. That's not downstate. That's 3 hours up north, closer to Canada, closer to the border where the snow really happened at. And it's bad up there at times. I got accepted to Syracuse, so I've been up there before.
Yeah.
Them streets different. But like the talent that's coming out right now is crazy. They got something going on.
It's a beautiful thing. I love to see it. I love to see the different movements in hip hop and people being able to basically move their weight on the game and into the game, and it's a great thing, man. Like, I don't think that there's anybody quote unquote dominating. I think all the lanes are wide open, and whatever lane that you're listening to or want to listen to or listen to in the moment, it's there for you. Ray Realms with another super chat. He says, "You're both right about the final hour point, but we do know that Lauren is the only. Lauren's only album isn't a rap album. It just has rap songs on it. It's not a rap album, and that's why I've always leaned towards Dirty Harriet.
How about this? We need Shay to bubble over the ground. Like Shay and Love, respectively, can go down artistically, creatively, and respectfully as the greatest female MCs who ever lived. But what I'm trying to say is that they're so dope, I don't want them to be classified as female MCs anymore.
Yeah, it's
And
MC.
so what I'm going to tell you is that I hear all-time greatness on this album out of Che Noir. I'm going to speak it like I would speak it if it was a man. I hear all-time greatness out of her on this album. And so that's really how we need to respect it and treatment. Because I'm going to tell you, she did something on this album that the two artists who get revered the most in the past 10 years didn't do. Well, she was consistent with her religious ideologies, and she clarified them well on this album in a way that Kanye and Kendrick Lamar have not learned how to do on a project. And I put that down. That needs to be noted. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, people keep praising these guys for their willingness to experiment and put interpretations of things and things. It's like, understand that this woman is doing it and doing it with fundamental backbone. One of my favorite moments of this album is Communion, where the lady that's on the hook that's talking is talking about her cursing and the inappropriate nature of the cursing. Hence why I keep bringing up y'all calling Kendrick righteous, but he keeps on slinging the B word around. Hence Kanye and some of the rhetoric that he espouses. It's like, when you belong to that club, Mike, you can't talk about belonging to that club and not behaving a certain way. She speaks to the struggle of the behavior in a way that they don't, and is truly and sincerely apologetic for it in a way that makes me feel like she is practicing it on a level that they are not, which makes me respect it more when she gives it out artistically. So what he's doing on Donda and what Kendrick's doing on Mr. Morale are doing on the Big Steppers, what they're missing is they're not solid like she is. She's solid.
Ryan Gillum says, "How do y'all feel about the album Hit Girl by Drizzy? Haven't heard it yet."
I haven't heard it.
So, what are you rating this album?
It's at least a 4.5, but about taking the Black Star album down, I don't want to give it a 4.75 because that would put it right there with the Black Star album, and I don't think that it's as good. I'm going to tell you what, that Black Star album, Mike, I think we're going to be talking about it in 5 years. It's like, man, you see how innovative and creative and forward-thinking that album was?
That's how I feel.
I feel that way, and that's why I gave it the 5, but it's almost like people don't want to hear me and want to keep calling most lazy, but that makes me say I felt more comfortable about the 5 after listening to the Che Noir, because I'm like, man, this is a quintessential like 4.75. Mm-hmm. She ain't missing much but that overall classic feel and classic song or songs to push it over the top. It's got